and welcome to Crypto Solution Binance Square, AMA. We are thrilled to have you join this session, where the latest trends, insights, and discussions from the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency are shared. This AMA is designed for everyone who is curious about crypto, whether you are just starting your journey or already have experience in trading, investing, or exploring digital assets. Over the next few minutes, you will hear informative discussions, updates, and valuable perspectives that can help you stay informed and make smarter decisions in the rapidly evolving crypto ecosystem. Our goal is to provide a platform where participants can learn, ask questions, and engage with experts, enthusiasts, and fellow community members. During this AMA, we encourage you to participate actively by sharing your thoughts, asking questions, and exploring ideas. Remember, your engagement helps make the session more interactive and enjoyable for everyone. As you listen, you can reflect on the possibilities of blockchain technology, digital assets, decentralized finance, and the innovative solutions shaping the future of the crypto world. We hope that this AMA will inspire you to explore more, stay curious, and continue learning about the exciting developments in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. Thank you for joining us today at Binance Square AMA. We appreciate your time, attention, and enthusiasm. Stay tuned for more sessions, insights, and updates from the world of crypto, and we look forward to welcoming you in the next AMA. Remember to follow Binance Square and stay connected with the community to ensure you never miss an update or
Okay, guys, I think Mike can just join in as we go in our AMA. So, Paula, John, are we ready to start?
Yes, we are ready to start. So we are having Mike, right? Because I don't see him.
Yeah. Actually, I was. We can just follow later on as we go through our conversation. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
All right, so since we're already live, hi everyone and welcome. So today's topic is Web4 Unlocked, how AI agents are dominating the 2026 DeFi landscape. So there is a lot of noise around AI and crypto right now, right? But this conversation is really about moving past the surface layer. We want to talk about what Web4 actually means, why AI agents matter in DeFi now, and where this is heading in asset management and also where the risks are. Joining me today are three people from AetheriumX: Paula, the CEO, John, the CMO, and Mike, head of Americas, who is also leading the AI direction inside the company. So, thank you all for being here. Paula, let's have a quick round of introduction so that the listeners know who's speaking.
Sure. Hi, guys. Nice to be here today. So, as you already mentioned, I'm Paula. I am the CEO at AetheriumX, and my focus is actually long-term strategy, ecosystem direction, and how we turn DeFi, AI, and on-chain systems into something that is actually feels durable. So, thanks for joining today.
Thank you,
Jean-Claude,
Paula, for that.
you
Yes,
want?
John Crown?
I'll go. Thank you. So I'm Jean. I'm the CMO at AetheriumX, and my role at AetheriumX is I focus on how we communicate the product, our position, the ecosystem, and of course make sure the strategy stays understandable as the market gets more complex.
Thank you very much, guys, for that introduction. And guys, today we're also going to be joined by Mike, the head of Americas at Ethereum X, and he is also the one leading our AI initiative. So he will join us shortly all throughout our conversation. So thank you very much, guys, for that. Now let us start with the phrase that I've mentioned in the title because I think that is where a lot of the confusion begins. Let's start with what is Web4 because people have used Web2, right? People are now entering Web3 and now increasingly Web4, but not always in a very disciplined way. So, Paula, when EthereumX talks about Web4, what does it actually mean?
So for us, Web 4 is not just Web 3 plus AI. That's, I believe, is too vague. So the way we think about it is that Web3 gave us already programmable value and ownership, but it still relied heavily on humans to interpret information and manually operate systems. So Web4 begins when intelligence becomes native to the system itself. Um, to explain in a more simple way, like in practical terms, that means users are no longer the only active participants, right? AI agents start becoming participants too. They analyze, share, execute, allocate, negotiate, and eventually transact with each other. So that's a very meaningful shift, I would say, because once agents are able to operate economically, the role of infrastructure changes. Which means you are no longer just building products for humans, you are building systems where humans and agents interact in the same financial environment. And that's why crypto matters here. If agents are going to transact, coordinate, and settle value across networks, crypto becomes the most natural settlement layer. So traditional rails are too slow, too expensive, and too dependent on human approval. So for us, Web4 means an economy where on-chain value and machine intelligence are tightly linked. I hope I explained well.
Definitely, Paula. So, what you mean is that the key difference is that intelligence is no longer external commentary on the system, it becomes part of the system, right?
Yes, I think exactly. It moves from interpretation into more like participation.
And yeah, and Paula, if you'd allow me to add one more
Of
thing.
course, always. Please add.
Yeah, I think also like Web4 also changes how people interact with complexity. So one of the reasons Web3 reached as many users as it could have is that too much of the burden was set on the user. For example, you had to learn about wallets, you had to learn about protocols, about chains, strategies, security habits, token flows, and it was too much for people to learn. On the other end, Web4 becomes meaningful when agents start actually taking some of that burden. And that does not happen by removing the user control. It happens by reducing the amount of manual coordination users are expected to do. So from a market perspective, Web4 is not a technical upgrade. It's also a usability upgrade. So it's not just a technical upgrade; it's also a usability upgrade. Yeah,
I agree
that's
with you on that, John. And actually, that's useful indeed, right? Because otherwise, it just sounds like another narrative label. Now, hi, Mike. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for tonight. So, Mike, we also want to hear your stand in this, right? Because you're the head of Americas and you're also leading this AI initiative. So, Mike, when you hear Web4 framed this way, what matters most from the AI side?
Sorry, what was the question? The last part, could you repeat that for me?
For sure, Mike. So I was asking, when you hear Web4 framed this way, what matters most from the AI side?
So that's a good question. Thank you for asking. The most important thing with the AI nowadays is that the AI has to be functional. Functionality is the most important thing when it comes to AI, and we need something that will enable the AI to be fully functional, not just AI as a catchphrase. So without AI being a functional thing, utility as a whole, the AI itself is kind of useless. We need the AI to do something within the system, within itself, and that's the only way we can enable the AI to become fully fledged part of the system that we are building.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mike, for that. Now, Let's move forward to another topic. Let's discuss AI agents in DeFi, especially in regards to asset management. So let us go there directly. I mean, DeFi seems like the clearest place where AI agents can start doing real work, right? So, Paula, why does DeFi become the first, the first serious use case?
Um, because DeFi, as I mentioned before, is programmable, transparent, and obviously measurable. So, if you want agents to operate meaningfully, they need an environment where data is visible. Rules are like machine readable, and execution can happen without permission bottlenecks. So, I think we can all agree that DeFi gives us that. And within DeFi, asset management is the most natural early application because most users are not trying to become full-time portfolio managers. They want exposure, yield, and better outcomes, but I mean, they do not want to spend every day watching liquidity shifts, reading governance changes, or manually rebalancing positions. You know, it takes too much time. It's boring, and it also takes a lot of knowledge. So that is exactly where AI agents become useful. An agent can observe market conditions in real time, compare protocols, interpret risk within a predefined framework, and allocate capital based on the user's profile. That is much more useful than another dashboard or another analytics interface. And that is our insight. And at Remix, this is why we are focusing on AI first inside DeFi and specifically around asset management. We think that's where the jump from concept to utility becomes most visible.
Love that, Paula. Thank you for that. So, it is basically not AI for content, right? It's AI for capital coordination.
Yes, 100%. It's not AI for content, it's AI for capital coordination.
Thank you very much for that. And Mike, do you also want to add up to that?
We're talking about the AI as functional AI agents, right? So the AI agents are really important part of the system nowadays. AI agents can be utilized pretty much for any single thing, given the scope of our things and the ecosystem. So for that to happen, we need the AI agent to serve utility. For example, at AetheriumX, we have something called DCIP, right? And this is served via the AI mechanism in place for our UI plus the way we utilize the system as a whole, right? So AI agents are the way to go now and in the near future, and with the way it's being scaled, it's gonna be very, very um, nice to have something functional in the near future. So I am really hopeful for AI agents as a whole, and I think in the next 5 years we're gonna see how usable they're gonna be. That's my point. Thank you.
That's a very interesting insight. Thank you so much, Mike, for that. Now, John, we also want to get your perspective on this from a product and communication perspective. John, how do you explain this to the users without making it sound like, just trust the machine?
Yes, yes, and that's exactly the challenge because if you explain it badly, it sounds like the user disappears and the machine is taking over, and that's not what we are building. The user still defines the framework, so the user still chooses the risk profile. The user still has boundaries and visibility. But what changes is that the agent takes over the repetitive, complex, and fast-moving parts of the process. So the way we describe it's not AI replaces judgment. It changes how judgment gets applied over time. So it turns judgment into an operational system instead of series of operational reactions. So, and in DeFi, that's extremely valuable.
Thank you so much, Sean, for that insight. Now, let us push this further, okay? Because right now, most people still think in terms of broad general AI, right? ChatGPT, Gemini, general purpose assistants. But I know that EtheriumX has a much stronger view around specialization. So, Mike, maybe we can start there.
That's a good question. I don't know if anyone saw what happened with the ChatGPT update recently. There was a ChatGPT 2 update regarding the picture. I'm pretty sure you guys saw that on Twitter, right? And I was shocked. I can tell you right now that 90% of graphic designers in the next couple of months are gonna be out of their job. So I saw Kobe Bryant poster. I saw Allen Iverson poster that used to take probably a couple of months to design. Like the scope of it was insane, and just a couple of prompts from those AI apps, and it was done. It's incredible what's happening with the development of that. So if we at Ethereum Max can replicate something similar to what's happening at Gemini or ChatGPT, then I can tell you right now the future is going to be really bright. So DCIP, as far as I know, it keeps being scaled up, right? Meaning, for people that are not familiar with that in layman terms, that the more optimized the DCIP protocol gets, the more money flows into the app, and the more money companies making from that. So if we can get on the same scale as ChatGPT updates or Gemini update or anything of that sort, it's gonna be really, really nice.
Thank you, Mike, for that. So, what we're saying here is that in the early phase, people think that agents are roughly equal. Later, the spread would become, between them, it would become more large, right? Right, Paula? I think you're muted, Paula.
Paula,
Yes.
you're muted.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I noticed that. Yes, I absolutely agree with Mike. And, you know, I believe that Asian competition becomes serious, and once that happens, access also changes. So people also often assume that AI becomes, cheap and fully open forever. I don't think I don't think that's gonna happen. In basic domains, yes, intelligence becomes more available and like more commoditized, but in highly specialized domains, especially where the economic value is high, access to the best agents, may become paid and maybe quite expensive or limited or restricted to like smaller professional circles, because once an agent has a real edge in capital management, the edge is like valuable. So I think we are heading toward a world where there is a broad base of accessible AI and then a much narrower layer of a very high value specialized agents that become strategic asset in their own right. So let's see where we are headed.
Yeah, did, and that's a very different model from the current idea that AI just democratizes everything evenly, right?
Yeah, because the market eventually prices the performance, accessibility, and if one agent consistently manages risk better, allocates better, and compounds better, capital will move toward it. So that's not just a technical story; it's a market story.
Ye- Yeah, and on the other end, from a product perspective, this is also what we think the ecosystem around agent matters. So it's not just enough to say we have AI or to just use that we have AI. The important question is, what kind of AI and for what task and with what track record and under what control framework? Those questions are important. And once the market matures, those details will matter even much more than the generic label.
Thank you so much, guys, for those inputs. That makes perfect sense for us now. And I think, following up and building up from that conversation, that would bring us to the risk side, which I think is unavoidable. I mean, the more useful agents become, the more people will rely on them. But that would also raise concerns around, opacity and control. So, Paula, how do you think about the downside?
Um, what I think this is the most important part of a conversation. So thank you for raising this question. Because the danger with AI in finance is not only that it makes mistakes, the danger is that it can create confidence without clarity. If an agent is operating capital and the user doesn't really understand what it's doing or what assumptions it's making or what conditions will break the strategy, then you created opacity inside the financial system. That's, I believe, is dangerous. So for us, the question is not whether AI is powerful, because that's obvious. The question is whether its power is paired with transparency, control, and accountability. So at AetheriumX, this is why we keep emphasizing user-defined boundaries, visible execution, and risk-aware design. If agents are going to operate in DeFi, they must be inspectable. Users need to know how decisions are made at a meaningful level, not necessarily, every line of logic, but enough for like us, normal, regular people, to understand what they are trusting.
Oh, so the issue is not only agent intelligence, it's agent legibility, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if a system becomes more powerful but less understandable, I don't think that's progress. But, that's my opinion on this.
And Mike, would you want to add up from the AI side of things on that?
Yeah, of course, that's a good question. So the problem nowadays is that some of the AI agents have been uh, there have been some mistakes within the programming, and some people, especially programmers, have managed ways to hack that and abuse the system. So we do have to be careful of that. If one of the AI agents does not work properly, or one of the protocols is not utilized in a way that it's supposed to, it can bring down the entire system within, right? So my point being is that without security precautions to make sure nothing happens, there cannot be any product in place. So Ethereum X needs and must and be um, will put security at number one priority, because if we don't have security and transparency as number one priority, our customers will not trust our company. And if people don't trust our company, it's going to be much harder to do business. So uh, I don't want us to be like any failed companies, because our AI agent failed and got. I don't like to say hacked. I would like to say misused. So I do hope we at EthereumX will keep strong foundations in place and will prevent anything such as that from happening in the near future or ever, if possible.
Yes, and let me add here also on the marketing end. I think I want to add that communication here matters a lot, because projects should not market AI agents as if they eliminate uncertainty, because let's be real, they don't eliminate uncertainty. But what they can do is that they can improve the speed, improve discipline, and improve consistency. But the user should always and should still understand that the risk remains part of the system. And because the fastest way to damage trust in this category is to present AI as the magic instead of infrastructure.
Thank you so much, guys. That was really enlightening for everybody. But I feel like this feels like a good place to stop. But what stands out to me the most is that this isn't really a conversation about AI as a trend, right? It's a conversation about how DeFi changes when intelligence becomes operational. Right? I mean, we talked about Web4 as a system where agents become real economic participants. Why DeFi and asset management are the natural first layers, why specialized niche agents will still matter, right? Far more than the general AI over time. And also we talked about why the biggest future agents may end up is managing very significant pools of capital. And just as importantly, we talked about the risks, right? Opacity, concentration, false confidence, and the need for user boundaries and transparency. So, Paula, John, Mike, thank you so much. This was genuinely strong indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
too.
Let me
Yeah,
just add
thank.
something. I recently just came back from Japan Teams meeting, and I do have to say Web4 development has a lot of there's a lot of things that I saw at Teams event, and the future looks extremely bright. Plus, our booth was also there, so we are part of this future, and I'm happy that we had this meeting today. And thank you so much uh, for all the questions today. I hope what we said today explains some of the things that people might have wondered about, and if they do have any other questions, we can explain them next time.
So thank you all. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Caitlin. I think that was a very great discussion. And yeah, I hope we're gonna have another one soon.
Yes, John, any closing remarks for our audience?
Yes, I want to thank you and thank everyone for participating here. And I'll say check our pages, check us on X, and check what we're releasing, and stay up to date with what we're doing. And it was really nice being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paula, John, and Mike. And thank you as well to everyone who joined in our discussion for tonight. So, guys, this has been Web for Unlocked, how AI agents are dominating the 2026 DeFi landscape. So, guys, more soon from AetheriumX. So, keep an eye out, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Thank you again. See you next time.
Thank you, guys.